everybody, and welcome to the Bob Devaney Sports Center, where the 1989 Boys State Basketball Tournament is going on. I'm Jeff Schmall, and joining me to do this Class B game is Rod Felix. He is a very well-known coach around the state, has coached the Seward Blue Jays for a number of years. And Rod, I think we're going to have a real good game here in the Class B final.
Well, this is one that they've looked for all year. The 1 and 2 teams in the year, the two teams were in it last year, defending champ Wahoo, and Pius is trying to get that championship. They've worked for it all year.
Last year, Wahoo won the state championship with a last-second basket by Steve Carmer. Steve Carmer hit a last-second bucket to win 50-48. Here was my play-by-play call of that game in the last few seconds. 12 seconds to go, 48-48. Wahoo with a basketball. Here come the Warriors. This is Jepson. Carmer, 6 seconds. Carmer drives. It's good! Timeout! We've only got 1 second left. And Wahoo went on to win that game, 50-48. Last second shot. You think we could have something of the same maybe tonight? Will it go down to the wire?
Well, I think the two teams that we have playing here tonight, it could go down the same way. Pius has played a couple tough games already in the state tournament, been real close, and I think the two teams are evenly matched. And the way to play both teams, real tough on defense, and it could go down to the same thing.
They call it March Madness, the state basketball time, and we have had great crowds, and I know we're going to have a good one for these last two games.
Well, I think the Class A ball game should be a real good ball game, Jeff, and we know this one's going to be a good ball game. There's some people that are starting to come in. It looks like it's going to be another good crowd.
And it looks like it might be packed, and we will have the Class B state championship game between Lincoln Pius X and Wahoo right after this. The place is just about packed here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center as we're getting ready for the Class B state championship game between Lincoln Pius X and the Wahoo Warriors. Rod Felix, the Seward High School basketball coach, will be joining me for the call of this game. And Rod, tell me maybe where the two teams, maybe one of the teams might have an edge, Wahoo and Pius X, how you assess the teams. I know you played Pius this season, and I know you've gotten to see Wahoo play quite a bit as well.
Well, I think Pius is a little bigger inside, plus maybe a little stronger. Might be a little quicker than the Glock boy inside with Burt and Easley. And of course, you know Hendricks is real tough. But basically, I think they match up pretty well. They've got good outside shooting, both teams, and both teams try to go inside. Wahoo tries to get the ball into their two big postmen inside. Pius tries to do exactly the same thing. If they can't get it inside, both teams have good outside shooting. Troy Glock is a good shooter. Didn't shoot too well last night in the ball game against Syracuse, but he's capable of doing a good job. Of course, Boudreau is a nice shooter outside, and Hendricks kid can move out and shoot well also. When we played Pius, Easley played out on the wing against us and shot real well from the wing, so they match up real well.
Here's the starting lineup for Wahoo. That's number 21, Rob Brigham. Rob is a 5'11 senior. He averages 3.1 points a game. Here's Troy Glock. He's the leader of this club, a 6'2 senior, averages 15 points a game. Also the quarterback of the Wahoo football team, which got to the semifinals of state. There's Cliff Kriesel. He's a 5'11 senior, averages 5 points a game. And there's Jason Glott. This kid is a player, a 6'3 sophomore, averages 21 points a game. And the final starter, Randy Hoffman, the big kid in the middle. But I think Jason Glock has impressed just about everyone. He played a lot as a freshman last year, and as a sophomore, he's just gotten better and better.
Yeah, Jason has really matured. He surprised me how well he's got a turnaround jump shot, and he really elevates. He's got his arms extended very high, and if he doesn't get the shot off, he's going to draw the foul.
And Wahoo, of course, coached by Mick Anderson. And the thing about Pius X, you got to figure they're hungry. This is the 3rd year in a row that Pius has gotten to the finals, but they haven't won that title since 1974. And sometimes the closer you get, the hungrier you get.
Yeah, I think that's true. We play against Pius in the summer league, and this is all they've talked about all year. I know they've spent a lot of time. They've gone to school. I know they played in the games this summer, and it's been a high priority. I know they've really worked on their defense. Surprised me the first time we played them how tough they were playing a man-to-man defense.
And here's the starting lineup for the Pius X Thunderbolts. 23-0 on the year. John Boudreau, the little point guard. He's a 6-foot senior, good quick guard, averages 12 points a game. Lee Hunsaker, he's kind of the defensive specialist. I'm sure will probably be matched up against Troy Glock in this game. Hunsaker, a 6'3 senior. Ed Easley, a 6'3 senior, averages 14 points a game, does a good job on the baseline, picks up a lot of rebounds underneath. Tom Burt, a 6'6 sophomore, and he, like Jason Glock, 2 of the best sophomores in the state. And finally, Kelly Hendricks, the 6'4 senior, averages 14.6 a game. He has been a starter at Pius since his sophomore year. And Tom Seib, the head coach at Pius, and 2 very well-coached teams, too, I think, Rod.
Yeah, 2 real good coaches. They do a real good job. They're fundamentally real sound. I know they work a lot with the kids in the summertime, and that's what it takes. 2 real gentlemen. They'll be real businesslike about the ball game. They're not going to be up, stomping up and down. They'll probably both be sitting there most of the time.
Last year it was a low-scoring game. Wahoo winning at 50-48. A last-second shot by Steve Farmer. Farmer, of course, a scholarship recruit by the Nebraska football team. He is not here. In fact, Wahoo lost most of its starters from that team a year ago, but they have rebuilt and rebuilt very well. Lincoln Pius X, number 1 in Class B. The Thunderbolts 23-0. Wahoo number 2, 25-0. And here's the tip-off. Wahoo in blue. They'll be going from right to left. Pius in white. Wahoo controls the tip, and this is Troy Glock. Wahoo would like to play a fast-paced ball game in this. Pius comes out in man-to-man defense. Hunsaker on Glock. He'll get it inside. Jason Glock kicks it back out. Right side, Kriesel tries to lob it into Hoffman, but it's stolen away. Ed Easley comes up with it. And Wahoo in that familiar 1-3-1 zone defense.
Yeah, as long as they can have their starters in there, they're going to stay in that 1-3-1.
Underneath, that's the weakness, and Ed Easley gets it. That's where you try to penetrate it, isn't it? That's
where he's going to hurt you, down underneath. You got that one player back there, and they do have the small kid down underneath.
2-0, Lincoln Pius X on top. Good crowd on hand. I have a feeling we're going to go over that 100,000 mark here for this tournament. Glock just inside the three-point line. The left-hander shot is off. Here comes Boudreau. Pius will take the break. They like to throw the ball the length of the floor instead of running maybe a traditional break.
Right, they'll try to get the ball down the floor, but they've got a lot of patience.
Boudreau from 3, no good. Burt strong underneath, no good. Easley has it, and Ed scores.
He's real tough on the board. He's got a lot of instinct. He's always there when that ball comes off.
It's 4-0. Pius on top. The opening minutes of the Class B state championship should be a good one. Inside, Randy Hoffman. It's good.
Came off a good screen that time.
And it's 4-2. 3/4 court pressure. A 1-2-1-1. They'll drop back into that zone. Burt, his jumper, no good. There's Hendricks with the rebound. Kelly is short. Randy Hoffman pulls it down. Pius doing a good job on the offensive boards.
They do. They're always there. They're so quick, they just get inside of you before you know it.
Troy Glock over to Rob Brigham. Brigham with Boudreau on him. Throws right side to Kriesel. Kriesel drives, shoots on the run, and Hendricks has the rebound.
I see Pius is trying to front their postmen down in there as much as he can, especially Hoffman. Burt's always in front of him.
This is Hunsaker. Lee gets it inside easily. He has all 6 of Pius's points and all within a foot of each other.
Right, that's where they're going to go. You can see right now that they're going to get inside on the little guy.
And Pius will take what you'll give them. They have a lot of different guys who can hurt you.
That's right, Jeff.
Here's Brigham. Right side to Troy Glock. There's Jason Glock, the sophomore. looks for the three-pointer, doesn't take it. The lob inside to Hoffman, yes, and he's fouled by Easley.
A nice lob pass inside. They had backside help, but he still got the ball. It went up the right time, timed the jump well, drew the foul.
Hoffman averages 15 points a game, and I would guess giving him the ball down on the baseline, he's going to score most of the time when he gets it there.
If they can get it to him and he can catch it, they can get it over that guy fronting him. He's going to be tough in there.
And Hoffman completes the three-point play. Hoffman has 5, Easley has 6, and that's the scoring in this game. 6-5, 5 minutes left in the first quarter of action. Hunsaker. Cross court. Friesel tips it away, and Block comes up with it.
Trying to go cross court with the pass. Trying to skip it.
Wahoo against the man-to-man defense. Friesel. Here's Jason. No, he's short. Nice check out that time by Easley, and that allowed Hunsaker to get the easy board. 6-5. Pius has led it the entire way. Cross court, that's Burt. Hendricks inside. Ed Easley, no good by Ed. And Wahoo has the rebound.
Pius might be trying something a little bit different here on defense. They've got Hendricks really falling clear off in the middle.
So they're leaving Friesel open and really having Kelly help out.
Right.
Almost looks like a matchup zone.
Well, they're playing Glock, and Woodrow's playing on Brigham.
A foul will be called on Brigham, but the guys underneath are kind of almost switching off whoever's closest.
Inside, yeah.
Foul on Rob Brigham, just his first. We've got a timeout on the floor. Pius X leads Wahoo 6-5 midway through the first quarter. Back at the Bob Devaney Sports Center where Pius X leads Wahoo. Rod, we were talking about Pius just kind of letting Cliff Friesel go on the offensive end, and what could Wahoo maybe do differently on offense?
Well, when I saw Wahoo play before, Friesel's a pretty good shooter outside. He'll probably start putting that ball up. They're still running their, basically their passing game against it. We'll just have to wait and see what Coach Anderson's going to do.
Here's Pius working against that 1-3-1 zone. Burt. Jumper a little bit long, and with the rebound, that's Brigham. Rob brings it up himself, gives off to Troy Glock. Wahoo likes to run, but Pius does a good job taking the break away. Pius would like to make it a half-court game, and so far that's exactly what we've seen. Troy Glock wanted to shoot it, but didn't. This is Friesel. Glock from three-point land, no. And Pius X doing an excellent job controlling the boards. They've out-rebounded Wahoo 7-3 so far, and that's a key statistic.
Yeah. Pius they're playing man-to-man, except they're falling off with those guys. Kelly's playing Friesel, but he's going to let him shoot outside, see if he can put it in.
Underneath, Ed Easley, and a foul before the shot. Easley has all 6 of Pius's points, and Randy Hoffman has all 5 of Wahoo's.
That's where they're going to go, inside as much as they can. That's both their strengths.
First substitution of the ball game checking in is Bernie Inbody. Inbody comes in, and Rob Brigham will sit down. That's for the Wahoo Warriors. Inbody, not a very big kid. He's only a 5'9" sophomore. Jump shot missed by Boudreau, and they have Inbody playing that back position on the 1-3-1.
Right, they just put somebody in smaller. We'll have to see, maybe he may change his defense. We'll have to wait and see, but basically that's where Brigham is playing.
Wahoo, they've never led in this ball game, the Warriors. The defending state champions. Glock almost loses it, and that's an over and back call. What exactly is the rule? It looked like Boudreau had touched it.
There was no control there, so if that ball goes back, that's a violation.
So the other team has to control it.
Right.
As long as it's tapped around, then
right. Even though he gets his hand off, if he would knock it back there, then it would be their ball. But it was just there was no control.
Boudreau, one of his patented hanging jump shots, knocks it down, and that makes it an 8-5 ball game inside of 2 minutes left in this first quarter. Glock drives the lane, passes to brother Jason. A foul before. They either whistled it on Easley or Hendricks. I heard a 4. And it will be on Kelly Hendricks, his first. Only the second team foul. Teams kind of feeling each other out right now, it seems.
I think so, yeah. Jason posted up in there real well. Got a nice pass from Troy.
Would have been an easy 2, except the foul first. On the run, Troy Glock can't get it to go. Pius playing good defense. Wahoo having a tough time getting good shots.
Troy kind of forced that one a little bit.
Kurt top to Hunsaker. He traveled. And I'm sure, Rod, you kind of wince every time you see these Glock brothers. You told me that their father was an assistant coach for you. You kind of let that recruiting get away from you, I guess.
Yeah, he got away from me. Those boys. Richard started as my assistant when he got out of college. He was there to help me for 5 or 6 years.
I tell you, he's got a couple of very athletic sons. Jumper on the way, no good. Underneath, Hoffman is fouled and he hits it.
Right there to get the rebound. Nice instinct on the offensive boards.
Randy Hoffman off of Jason Glock's miss. And that foul was on Kelly Hendricks, his second. And that's the one player that Pius does not want to have get in foul trouble.
Kelly got in foul trouble last night, too. He had 3 in the first half and had to sit down and watch a little bit.
This could tie it. Bounds around and goes down. Randy Hoffman, all 8 points for Wahoo. And we have a tie ball game, 8-8. Check it in now, the first substitution for Pius, Jeff Nichols, a 5'10 senior. He comes in, Kelly Hendricks goes out, so a somewhat smaller lineup as Hunsaker now will go to a forward spot. Boudreau and Nichols primarily the guards. Pius goes with 6 players. Wahoo usually goes about 8 deep in their lineup. 1-3-1. They'll try to trap maybe a little more. Ed Easley, what is it? A blocking call. That will be the 3rd team foul on Wahoo. And Ed Easley is the guy who's doing the job for Pius so far in this first quarter.
They're really looking for him inside, and he does a good job. He comes in with that left hand and seems to just get it in there every time.
That foul was on Cliff Friesel, I believe. His first. There's an interception. Here comes Troy Glock. Gives off to brother Jason. Yes!
Nice assist again by Troy to his brother. Set him up real well.
First lead of the game for Wahoo. It's 10-8. 30 seconds left in this first quarter. There's the trapping defense.
They put a lot of pressure on the outside out of that 1-3-1.
It's interesting. Troy Glock, he'll let the players get past them and then cause problems from behind.
Right.
10 seconds left. Let's see what kind of a shot Pius can get. Boudreau gives off to Nichols. Shot from 3-point line. It's good! And that's the end of the first quarter as Jeff Nichols hits a 3-pointer and Pius leads it 11-10 after 1 period of play. And Rod, Pius X gets a big boost at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, I think maybe they were looking to go inside, but Jeff Nichols came open. They got the ball to him, and he took maybe a rare shot there and got the 3-pointer, which really helped.
11-10, Pius in front after 1 quarter of play, and Pius will have the ball to start the second quarter. Boudreau from 3, it's short. Easley with the rebound, the left-hander shot, bounds around, won't go. Easley's down there for the rebound, and the foul will go on Randy Hoffman. Ed Easley sure seems to have good rebounding instincts.
He put the ball up and he stepped right to where he thought the ball was going to come off, and sure enough it came right off, and he puts it back up for a nice shot.
A lot of rebounding isn't only the tallest, but sometimes the smartest,
That's
isn't
right,
it?
Right. A lot of kids just have that natural instinct to know where that thing's coming out.
Traveling on Kelly Hendricks over on the baseline, and on the turnover, It will go Wahoo's way. Pius shot 42%, 5 of 12 in the first quarter. Wahoo, 5 of 10, 50%. Other than that, the statistics, well, that one really pretty even, and the whole game even. The foul on Hunsaker, as Troy Glock could not get the shot off. Troy will go to the free throw line and shoot 2. And when a guy's moving through the lane like that, that's probably when you say get your hand in the face, but don't foul him, because that's not really a great shot.
No, it wasn't a good shot that Troy took, and you need to kind of get away and just bother him as much as you can and hope that the ball's not going to go in.
When those kinds start falling all night, you know it's going to be a long night for your team. Free throw, bounds around, nice soft touch by Troy, his first point of the game. And that ties it back up, 11 apiece. And now Wahoo on front as that one twinkles the twine. 12-11, 7 minutes and 30 seconds left in this first half. Wahoo in front of Pius. The Bolts with a basketball, 3/4 court pressure, and they get the turnover. But Friesel on the interception.
Just enough pressure to bother him.
Let's go, Warriors!
Troy Glock wants it back, and a pushing foul, I believe, on Ed Easley. Ed Easley maybe a little too physical on Jason Glock inside.
Jason really uses his body well to get posted up inside. He's pretty tough to cover. I know they're trying to get around in front of him, but he moves quick enough that he can keep Ed on his back.
Tom Burt checks in, and Jeff Nichols will sit down. This kid does not look like a sophomore.
No, he really doesn't. He's really matured. Of course, he's got a little taller, but he looked about like this last year. And I know they had a real good, when he was a freshman last year, they had a real good freshman team. I don't think probably anybody beat him, and that's why they're playing some of these sophomores now.
13-11. Second one, no good. Burt with the nice rebound. Troy Glock continuing to pressure. They just kind of let him go and do whatever he wants on defense. He's a smart, heady ball player. Hunsaker, short, underneath, and a foul on Hoffman. That will be Randy's first, and guess who had the positioning underneath? Our Mr. Easley.
Yeah, Ed was there again, and he did have good position, and Hoffman should have just let him have the bounce. He was on his back.
Easley, there you see the foul. He kind of, not to be derogatory, but sometimes you could call Ed almost a garbage player, because he's just always around the basket, isn't he?
He really is. And again, that just goes back to knowing where that ball is going to come off, and he gets a lot of easy shots.
Kelly Hendricks travels again, and the turnover will go Wahoo's way. 13-11, the Warriors on top. The defending state champions, one of these teams will finish undefeated. And the foul on Hunsaker. Hunsaker set the screen, but he must have been moving. Friesel ran him over.
A little lack of communication, I think, there.
The officials, incidentally, on this game, Marty Going of Omaha and Dick Morrissey of Omaha. Dick right on top of that call. Free throw bounds around long. Jason Glock has the rebound, a big kid. It came off strong, and Jason grabbed it.
Let's go, Warriors!
Three-pointer blocked by Boudreau. Bernie Inbody got it thrown back right at him. Troy Glock misses. Inbody with a rebound, gets it underneath Hoffman, he'll score.
He's doing a good job inside there, gets that ball up high. Nice shot right up over the top of Easley.
Wahoo is reeled off. 5 straight. Pius yet to score here in the second quarter, and we've played about 2 minutes. Boudreau doesn't get the bounce. There's Mr. Easley, and Ed can't get it to go down. And look! He was on the other side of the basket and came back over and got it.
Yeah, they're not blocking him off at all. Of course, you play that zone, and a lot of times it's pretty tough to find a man and check him off the boards.
There's a timeout on the floor with 6 minutes to go in the first half. Wahoo leads it 15-11. Back to live action. Rod, during the timeout, Wahoo did something a little bit strange. Look, they're way out on the court. What about that?
Well, they're right in front of the Pius crowd, and I'm sure it's very noisy over there, and Coach Anderson wanted to be able the kids to hear, so he just had them take their chairs right out in the middle of the floor.
15-11, the Warriors lead it. A packed house here at the Devaney Center. Everywhere you look, they're up to the rafters. And a turnaround jumper by Jason Glock. He now has 5.
Nice elevation by Jason up high. The only way you can block that is probably get your hand on his arm and draw a foul.
Pius the other way. Hendricks, yes. Kelly Hendricks his first 2, and the first 2 for Pius here in the second quarter. 5:30 left, and it's 17-13. Wahoo leads it. Kelly Hendricks, a nice pure shooter, isn't he?
He really is. He really extends also, gets up high, and just a real good form shooter.
Jason Glock, no. Tom Burton, nice check off underneath. And here comes Pius the other way. Hunsaker, the 15-footer, it's buried. If Lee Hunsaker can hit that shot, that would be a big key.
Yeah, well, he's a good offensive ball player, but he's just kind of taking the role as a defensive specialist.
A lot of action underneath. Hoffman went to the floor, no call. The Wahoo fans wanted it. Tom Burt came away with a rebound, and a chance now for the Bolts to tie it up. They've scored 4 straight. Hunsaker on the run. No. Hendricks tough on the board.
Again, they're always around there. They're so quick. I thought Wahoo did a good job last night of checking out of the zone, but they're not getting the job done tonight.
Well, and Pius has 3 kids underneath who all good instincts.
Right, they're always right around the board every time.
Hendricks will shoot 2. In and out for Kelly. 6'4" senior, a 3-year starter at Pius. Just been a good, solid starter for Tom Seib. This is his 3rd year in the finals. Kelly's 3rd year as a starter. He's come away with the silver medal each time, and Kelly would like to get the gold this year. It's 17-16. Wahoo leads it as Hendricks makes 1 of 2 free throws. He has 3 on the game. Jason Glock brings it up. Throws right side, Bernie in-body. Inside, Hoffman. No. Good defense by Hendricks. And Hunsaker had the board. Boudreau brings it up slowly. Pius will kind of lull you to sleep, though, just when you think they're never going to fast break. They'll kind of let somebody cherry pick down there.
Right, get the ball down quick. So like you say, somebody will. We scouted them early in the year, and they did get a lot of cherry picks. Now
we're down to a 2-1-2 zone by Wahoo. Hunsaker, or Boudreau hits the 3. And that guy can get hot.
Right.
It's 19-17. Pius has scored 8 straight, a game that has been in streaks. Pius the early streak, then it was Wahoo getting hot, and now Pius hot again. And the ball goes out of bounds as they tried to lob it inside to Hoffman.
Wahoo's changed their offense too. They were going with a 3-man passing game, and now they've moved Jason outside. They run the 4-man passing game with Hoffman inside, trying to get the ball inside to him.
And a 2-2-1 zone press now. A little different look for Wahoo. Kelly Hendricks, strong, didn't follow his shot. And the rebound came to Bernie in-body. Is there places where you tell your kids, follow your shot here and get down court other places, or any general rule?
It depends on who you are. If we've got a guard that we're always going to send back, we'll designate what guard it is to get back. Most everybody else, if we're going to have 1 man back, we'll designate who it is.
Tom Burt, no, and Randy Hoffman has the rebound, but that showed you the skill that Tom Burt possesses. He can take the ball, 6'6" sophomore, can dribble like that and take it the length of the floor.
Right.
19-17, Pius leads it over Wahoo, 2:45 left in the first half. We thought it would be a good one, and it has been. For 3, Troy Glock, no. Jason has the rebound. He traveled, I believe. What is it? Traveling, yes. It took Dick Morrissey a while, but he made the call traveling, and I think it was a good one. There's a timeout on the floor. Pius leads Wahoo by 2 late in the second quarter. Seems like a team can make 1 of 2 choices. They can either hit the offensive boards or get back to stop the fast break. It looks so far. Pius is doing both in this game.
Yeah, I think Boudreau's probably been designated to be sure that he gets back on any shot. hasn't been going to the board at all. And he doesn't need to.
Got 3 guys who can really go to the glass on the Pius offensive end. They lead it by 2. Boudreau for 3. No, way off the mark. There's Kelly Hendricks.
They just can't check them off, but they're always there right around the board.
You could see it right there where Boudreau and Hunsaker both went back, but the other 3 went rushing in. Boudreau near steal. In body, has it knocked away, and this time we do have the steal. Here comes Pius. Hendricks. No numbers, and Kelly has it taken away, but he's fouled first. I think Troy Glock.
Yeah, John Boudreau got two blocks that time and recovered the second one and got it down the floor.
Boudreau, kind of a deceptive player. I think maybe at first look you might say, well, he doesn't seem like he's that good, but he gets a lot of things done out there.
Yeah, he's a real competitor. He really works hard out there. I noticed that he probably plays a lot better offensively against man-to-man than he does against his zone. He hadn't shot well yet tonight. If he gets in around the basket or penetrates, he takes a nice little jump shot, but he hasn't been shooting too well against the zone.
And really, Pius X has John Boudreau to thank to be in this state tournament. He had a big hoop against York in the district final, and that's the only reason they're here.
That's right.
It's now 23-17. What a run that Pius has been on. They have outscored Wahoo 12-2 here in the second quarter, midway through. Wahoo had jumped out scoring the first 5 points, but since then it's been all Pius. 23-17, a minute 30 left. Wahoo with a basketball, but the Warriors, defending state champions, trail by 6.
Wahoo needs to get a basket outside to kind of loosen it up inside a little bit.
There's that jumper, blocked, no good. He's taking that left-hander on the run, and Hunsaker is really doing a good job staying in his face.
Hunsaker's falling off of him when he's outside the 3-point, but as soon as he starts to penetrate a little bit, he's right up on him.
Pius X, 1 minute left. Kelly Hendricks, boy, is that pretty.
Nice shot.
Wahoo quickly the other way. And there's the steal. 25-17. How about this run? 14 straight points for Pius. They trailed 17-11, Rod, and they have run off 14 straight.
Yeah, the momentum's in their favor now. They're going to hold the ball and try to get one last good shot here of the half.
Low-scoring game, which you'd have to figure would be in Pius's advantage.
Right.
A veteran Pius X ball club. Hendricks takes the jumper with 15 seconds left, no good. But Kelly has the rebound, shooting it on the run, in and out.
There he is again. Yep. Didn't check off at all. Hendricks took the shot from the corner, and then they didn't block him at all.
3 seconds, 2 seconds. They're not going to get a shot off. There is the halftime buzzer. Wahoo trailing Pius X 27-17 as the Bolts scored the last 16 points of this first half. An incredible run by the Lincoln Pius X Thunderbolts as they have taken a 27-17 halftime lead. Dick Janda is standing by with Wahoo coach Mick Anderson, who cannot be very happy with the turn of events here in the end of the second quarter. Dick?
Coach, your thoughts about this first half, a real half of momentum swings.
Right. We need to do a better job the second half. They're killing us on the boards right now, and we're throwing the ball away too many times. And against a good team like this, you simply can't do it. You got to check them off. You got to take care of the ball.
Some of the things you'll be talking about at halftime here to your players.
Well, once again, just taking care of the ball and, trying to get into our offense. Pius is doing a good job putting defensive pressure on us, and we're just going to have to work a little harder.
All right, Coach, we'll let you get to your players. Good luck
you.
the second half. Okay, and we'll be back with more here at halftime of the Class B State Championship game, including the coach's All-State team after this timeout. Back at the Devaney Sports Center, we're here at halftime. Pius has taken a 27-17 lead on Wahoo in the Class B State Boys Championship. Well, again, as we've been doing throughout the girls and boys state championship telecasts, announcement of the all-state teams at halftime. We've polled the coaches throughout the state, asked them to vote on who they thought were the top players in their classes. And now, here is the 1989 Class B coaches all-state team. At one of the guards, Troy Glock of Wahoo, a 6'2 senior, Troy averaged 15 points and 4 rebounds a game this year. At the other guard, Scott Kohut of Norris, a 6' senior, Scott averaged 17 points and 5 rebounds a game. At center, Brian Elke of Waverly, a 6'5 senior, Brian had a 21-point average with 8 rebounds a game this year. At one of the forwards, Marty Dubas of Ord, a 6'2 senior, Marty averaged 23 points and 7 rebounds a game. At the other forward, Kelly Hendricks of Pius, a 6'4 senior, Kelly averaged 15 points and 6 rebounds a game. Receiving honorable mention in Class B, Jason Glock of Wahoo, Kylie Rolfs of Crete, Dan Dostal of Gretna, Tim Bailey from Nebraska City, and Sean Denny from McCook. That's the 1989 Class B Coaches All-State team. Seward basketball coach Rod Felix is our guest commentator for this Class B game. And Rod, an outstanding team on the All-State team, 5 seniors.
Well, it kind of looks like Seward's all-opponent team. We played against most of those teams. The only one that we didn't play would be Wahoo and against Troy Glock. But the kid from North, Scott Kohut, was an outstanding player, a good three-point shooter. I'm sure as Coach Carlson there at Norris was their team leader. Then you have Brian Elke from Waverly, again another good outstanding shooter. He played outside, even though he was a 6'5 player, he played outside most of the time and was a good shooter outside. Then there's Marty Dubas from Ord. Marty is a very smooth ball player. They can post him up inside. He shoots well outside, as was shown in the tournament games here in Lincoln. He just has a lot of instinct, is around the board, rebounds well. He's an outstanding player. And then, of course, Kelly Hendricks playing here tonight in the finals. Kelly, again, another outstanding shooter from both three-point inside. Tonight he's really been tough on the boards. He just seems to have a natural instinct, Dick, that he knows where that ball is going to come off and puts it back in. Then, of course, Troy Glock, he's a real leader. He shoots a little better than he's evidenced here in the tournament. I've seen him play a number of times. As mentioned before, his dad was my assistant, and I've kind of kept track of Troy, and I know he's a lot better shooter, but he really is a leader. They need to get something done. Troy's always there. He works real hard on defense. He's just an outstanding individual, as all of them are.
Dubas from Ord, we saw him during the first 2 games of the tournament. Really had an outstanding tournament.
He really did. I think he's a little frail type kid. I think if he could put a little weight on it, there's a good possibility that he could play some Division I. I don't know if anybody's talked to him. He's probably looking at a small college situation, but he does have a lot of ability.
It's been an outstanding year, not only in Class B, but for high school basketball in general.
Oh, I think it really has been a good year. The tournament here is at Evanston last night. They had an outstanding crowd. Of course, the weather is nice. That's going to bring a lot of people out, but there's been a lot of good basketball played throughout the state of Nebraska this year.
What do you think will happen in this second half? Wahoo finds himself down by 10 here at halftime.
Well, they're really getting hurt on the boards. They're playing a zone, and it's kind of hard to check off on the boards. They take a shot. I noticed there towards the end, Hendricks took a shot from the corner, and the ball came right back off, and he's inside and got the rebound and put it back up. So they're going to have to do a lot better job, Wahoo is, to keep those guys off the board, because that's where they're getting killed. Not so much outside, but just around the board. First quarter, easily, I think he had 6 or 8 points, and they were easy shots that he had inside.
I have a feeling it's not going to be 10 points in the second half. I think it'll be going to be a close game.
Yeah, I think Wahoo's going to come back. Coach Anderson's going to make some adjustments, I'm sure, at halftime, and Wahoo's going to come out fired up, and they're going to close the gap, and I'm sure it's going to be a good ball game in the second half.
Rod, we really appreciate you being with us for this Class B game. Thanks for your comments, too, here at halftime.
Thank you, Dick. I'm enjoying it.
Okay, and we'll be back with more of the Class B state championship game after this timeout.
We are at halftime of the Class B state championship game, where Pius leads Wahoo 27-17. The Bolts have run off 16 straight points. And let's run down the first half statistics. Rod, anything up there really stand out at you?
The big thing is that the rebounds, there's a great disparity there when Pius has got 21 rebounds, and I would say probably most of those are offensive putbacks, where Wahoo has only 13. You also look at the field goal percentage is quite a disparity there too. Pius is shooting 40% from the field, and Wahoo's only shooting 27%. They just need to get some points from outside a little bit more, so they can loosen that up inside a little bit, so they can go to their big kids inside, because I think Pius is really shutting them off inside.
Wahoo has only had 3 players score in this game. Randy Hoffman has 10 points. Jason Glock has 5, and Troy Glock has 2. A little more balanced attack for Pius. Kelly Hendricks has 9. Ed Easley has 8. 5 for John Bedreau, 3 for Jeff Nichols, and 2 for Lee Hunziker. The defending Class B state champion Wahoo Warriors are in trouble at halftime. They trail Pius 27-17. We'll be back to talk with Pius X coach Tom Seib right after this.
They're going to have to keep those guys off the board, because that's where they're getting killed. Now, I'm sure Mick's probably not going to go to a man defense, which would give him a little better chance to check those guys off. But that's been the whole story right there, is just trying to keep the guys off. They're not hurting them too much outside. They just got to keep them off the board.
What can you do on a zone defense? Do you still have to try to pick out a man to check out, or?
Well, you pretty much, you're in an area, and you're going to have to look for somebody that's in that area. Now, the last time Hendricks was in the corner and took the shot out there, and the Wahoo player on just left him. In fact, I think he started to go towards the other end of the floor, and Kelly just stepped inside. The ball came right back to him, and he just had an easy putback. So they're just going to have to concentrate, and I'm sure that's what Coach Anderson's talking about at halftime, is just make a real concerted effort to look for somebody and try to keep them off the board. And it's just, again, as we talked about before, it's just those three players that are hurting them inside, Easley and Hendricks and Burke.
And really, it was a game of streaks in the first half. You know, that Pius got on an early roll, then it was Wahoo getting on a roll, scoring a bunch of points in a row, and I think we're still going to have a pretty good game in the second half. I don't think Wahoo's going to roll over and play dead in this second half.
No, the game's far from over. There's a lot of time left. I'm sure the Wahoo kids are going to come out ready to play, and they're going to make some adjustments that's going to get them back in the ball game. But again, I think one of those things that they're going to have to be able to hit from the outside. Maybe they're going to play some of those younger kids that can shoot on the outside and try to open it up inside a little bit.
We'll be back with the second half of the Class B state championship game right after this. We're at halftime of the Class B state championship game between Lincoln Pius X and Wahoo. Pius leads at 27-17. Pius trailed it 17-11 early in the second quarter, but then the Bolts reeled off 16 straight points, and they lead it 27-17. Dick Janda is now standing by with Lincoln Pius X coach Tom Seib. Let's go over to Dick and Tom.
Tom, your thoughts about this first half? A big spurt at the end here for Pius.
Yeah, I thought the offensive boards for us really made a difference. I think we had 11 offensive boards. Ed Easley was just a terror on the offensive boards. If we could have put a few more of those back in, it'd be even a bigger lead. But yeah, we had a great spurt right at the end there. I think when Wahoo jumped up on us by 3 or 4 points there, we really turned up the steam and got going.
Now, what can you do to keep this up the second half?
Well, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard intensity. Our legs are getting a little tired from the last 2 days. They've been intense games, but I think we're going on adrenaline, and we'll just go hard as we can.
Probably not many times that Wahoo's been held to 17 points and a half.
I doubt that very much. A great defensive effort.
Okay, Tom, good luck the second half.
Thanks a lot, Dick.
All right, Jeff, back to you.
Well, Rod, an interesting statistic that Tom Seib brought out. Pius out-rebounded Wahoo 21-13 in that first half. 11 of those rebounds came on the offensive end.
Yeah, it's, you know, he's talking about the same thing that we've been talking about. It's just been the difference that they've gone to the boards, and Wahoo hasn't kept them off the boards, and it's really made a difference in the way that Pius has scored there in the second quarter.
Wahoo averages 76.8 points per game, and they were held to 17 in the first half. So that means Wahoo would have to score 60 points in the second half just to hit their average. I think they're going to be held below their average tonight.
Yeah, it looks like it tonight. They're not getting any shots at outside at all, and of course the same thing we've talked about. They like to go inside, and this maybe is what's going to hurt them. They've got to get some points outside.
In case you just joined us, I'm Jeff Schmall. Rod Felix, who is the head boys basketball coach at Seward High School, is our guest color commentator for this Class B state championship game. We still have one game to follow tonight, and that should be a doozy, as Millard South, 24-0 on the season, will take on Columbus, 20-1 on the season. Our guest color commentator for the Class A game will be Tom Hall of Omaha West Side, and I know you're familiar with Columbus, with Millard South, and especially with Tom Hall. That should be another great game coming up after this one.
Yeah, and as you look around the Coliseum here, they're really filling up. They're starting to get clear up the top, so you can be sure that there's going to be a big crowd just like there was last night, and yeah, it's great for basketball, high school basketball in the state of Nebraska to have this many people come out.
Yeah, I was really impressed with the Columbus crowd last night. You know, there had to be, I think, 5,000–6,000 people from Columbus here.
Yeah, when they had the people stand up, the Columbus people stand up, you could just look around, and they were all the way around, and they really had a good contingent here from Columbus.
What do you think of that? Breaking the old attendance mark, it looks like by 10,000. They'll hit probably 100,000 for this tournament. A one-year freak thing, or do you think it's just going to keep growing?
I think the weather has a lot to do with it. You know, you think of the state boys basketball tournament, there's going to be a blizzard, or the weather's bad, or it's cold. But the weather's been terrific, and the people get out, and they want to come down and watch some good high school basketball. So I think that has a lot to do with the crowd.
We've seen a lot of good games, especially yesterday.
Sure we were. Pius has had some good ball games. There were good ball games in Class A, and I'm sure this one's going to come back and be a good ball game also.
Pius X will get the ball to start the second half. The Thunderbolts in white. They have a 10-point lead over the Wahoo Warriors. Last year, these same two teams met for the Class B title, and it was Wahoo winning on a last-second shot, 50-48. Tom Burt, his first two of the game.
Wahoo's back in their 1-3-1, and Tom got the shot down on the baseline over the smaller kid.
And that is now 18 straight points for Pius. 29-17. Pius still in that man-to-man defense. Lob into Hoffman. Who's the foul on? I believe it'll be on Tom Burt. That would be just his first.
Yeah, Wahoo's trying to open it up a little bit. They're running the four-man passing game now. They've moved Jason Glock outside, and with just Hoffman inside.
No one in foul trouble, and it really seems that the officials are doing a good job. Bucket by Rob Brigham.
Nice baseline move by Rob.
Pius against the full court pressure. It caused a couple turnovers early in the second quarter, but other than that, the Bolts have done a pretty good job, and Pius will take a timeout. Pius apparently feeling that 10-second call may be coming up, so the Bolts took a timeout, and we will do the same. Back with more after this. Pius X inbounding the ball. That's John Boudreau. He and Lee Hunsaker, the starting guards, in there right now for Pius. Tom Burt, the post. That's Hunsaker. No good. He's got his own rebound. Offensive rebound number 12. And Hendricks has offensive rebound number 13.
Yeah, Hunsaker just put the ball up and he stepped right around. Troy Glock was on him outside, and he just went right around inside. The ball came right back to him.
Kelly Hendricks and Ed Easley, the other two starting forwards. Pius going with its same starting lineup. Troy Glock and Rob Brigham, the guards. Randy Hoffman, the center. The shot is good by Boudreau.
John got a nice three-pointer from the corner.
Boudreau, a three-pointer, his second three-pointer of the game, and that makes it 32-19. From the corner, it's no good by Kriesel. And traveling underneath, or he stepped out, one of the two.
Go ahead. Looked like he might have got part of that ball, Jeff, because he was up in the air pretty high.
Here's Wahoo with the basketball, trailing by 13. Glock, no good, but a foul on Kelly Hendricks, and that will be Kelly's third. I'm sure something that Coach Tom Seib wished Kelly did not pick up that third foul this early. Checking in for Wahoo will be Ryan Eddy comes in. There you see it.
Yeah, he was in on him a little bit. It was a foul.
There you see Ryan Eddy. He's checked in for Rob Brigham. Troy Glock at the free throw line makes the first. Randy Hoffman, the starting center for the Wahoo Warriors. Jason Glock and Cliff Kriesel are the forwards. The second shot is on the way and good as well by Glock. And now it's 32-21.
They've extended their press a little bit now, full court.
Boudreau feels the pressure and holds it up. Nice job of breaking the pressure. Hunsaker back to Boudreau. Three-pointer is short. And Troy Glock has the rebound. And boy, those Wahoo kids are all going in for the boards now.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what they talked about at halftime, and everybody's going to crash the boards.
Or get the break and get the rebounds. That's Ryan Eddy in the corner. Throws it back out to Troy Glock, to Jason Glock. Right side, that's Kriesel. Cliff on the run. No. And Burt goes high for the rebound.
The ball just won't go in for him in around the basket. He made a nice drive in the lane. Might have hurried the shot just a little bit, didn't square up.
Seems like Wahoo's taking a lot of off-balance shots where you really want him to go straight up, don't you?
Right.
Boudreau looked at the three-pointer, didn't take it. This is Ed Easley.
Nice shot in there by Ed on the baseline. Hoffman just...
Easley now with 10. And it's 34-21, 13-point lead for the Bolts. Something on the floor, something thrown out on the floor, so the officials stop play. Somebody threw some ice out on the floor. Got a couple more pieces out there. They'll try to get them cleared up. They're going to hold up play as they're spotting a couple more. Fans cheering as apparently they think someone from Wahoo threw the ice. Quite a bit of it out there. Looks like a full cupful, and you sure hate to see something like that.
Yeah, you'd hate to see a kid get injured when come down the floor and step on it.
(34-21), 5:14 to go in the third quarter. Lincoln Pius X leads Wahoo in the Class B state championship game. Wahoo inbounding the ball. Ryan Eddy. Left side, Cliff Kriesel. He lost it.
Just wasn't ready for the ball, or he was going to do something else before he caught it.
Pius really doing a good job clamping down on Wahoo's three main players, the Glock brothers and Randy Hoffman. This is Pius with a basketball and a 13-point lead for the Bolts. Easley tries to get it to Burt and does. Tom, how tough is that?
Nice move. He faked one way and came back the other and put the ball off the glass. It was a very nice shot.
And he is only a sophomore. Tom Burt. There's a timeout on the floor. Wahoo wants to slow it down. 36-21 is our score. We'll keep it right here. And Pius X has come out tough here in the third quarter. The Bolts led it by 10 at the half, 27-17, and they are building on that lead here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I think their confidence is really building too. That the ball, they're still going inside, and they've hit the last two shots there in a row, so it's going to make them pretty tough.
Take another look at Tom Burt. Look at this. He's got like three kids on him right here.
And he fakes one way and comes back, and he's going to nice. Off the board, real nice. A lot of kids will try to shoot that over the rim and either shoot it short or shoot it too hard, but he put it on the glass real nice.
And he waited, he squared up on the basket. You get a good look there at Mick Anderson and the Wahoo huddle. Squared up on the basket. He was moving a little bit, but not very much.
Yeah, like you say, he's for a sophomore, he's a real fine ball player. Hey, he got some experience last year as a freshman, and he's going to be a force to reckon with here for the next couple of years.
Of course, he had an older brother who I'm sure has taught him a few things in the driveway.
Yeah, Charlie was, I'm sure they played a lot of one-on-one. Both Charlie and David were good players for Pius.
Charlie went on, just finished up his career at Nebraska Wesleyan. And looks like Tom is following in his brother's footsteps at Pius anyway. He's a good product. Wahoo with a basketball, trailing by 15. Nice block by Hunsaker.
Yeah, they had him fronted, had Hoffman fronted, and Hendricks came over on the backside to help, and then Hunsaker got the block when he went to take the shot.
Good help defense. Nice pass underneath. And I believe we've got a foul. Running into him is Burt. That will be Tom. If it's on Tom, it'll be his second. Yep, on Tom, his second. 13 foul against Pius in this second half. Been a well-officiated game. Not many calls and not many controversial calls that I can remember.
They're kind of letting them play out there tonight.
I like to see that, I think, in a state championship game, too. Underneath, the shot is good by Steve Bolin, a 6'3 sophomore who had just checked into the Wahoo lineup. Steve, a big kid underneath.
Yeah, they took out one of their smaller guards and put him inside, so they're trying to give him a little more height inside. I don't know, they may hurt him a little bit on quickness.
Boudreau trapped underneath, got it back out to Hunsaker. Lee drives, gives off to Burt. It's on the floor. We've got a jump, and the alternate possession will go to Wahoo. Nice idea that time by Lee Hunsaker, but just didn't quite get the pass to Tom Burt quick enough. Wahoo trailing by 13. The Warriors need a run. We've played half of this third quarter. On the run, the shot is good. Will it count? Let's take a look. The foul will go, and it's good. Ed Easley picks up his third. A big bucket by Jason Glock. Take another look at this one, Rod.
Okay, they've moved Jason onto the outside. They brought in their other sophomore and have moved Jason to the outside now to give him a little more shooting outside.
Jason does not complete the three-point play, but Wahoo has cut it to 11, 36-25. 3:35 left in the third quarter. A lot of basketball to be played here in the Class B state championship game. Three-pointer, Boudreau. John Boudreau buries it. He can kill you if you sag off on him.
You know, they're kind of, the Wahoo's concentrating on inside now, and if Boudreau's going to be able to shoot, they're just going to give him a lot of trouble.
Troy Glock, three-pointer, no, way off.
He forced that a little bit.
Somebody must have got a hand on it. One official came out and said it looked like somebody got a hand on it. Maybe Boudreau.
He must have.
John didn't argue the call very much, so he must have gotten it. Glock, trouble getting it in, gets it to brother Jason. Inside, traveling. Steve Bolin tried to go too quickly.
Sophomore error, probably. I've been watching Bolin inside. Looks like maybe he might be playing easily man-to-man. He's staying pretty close to him.
Boudreau almost knocked away by Glock. Nice job of John, but there's Troy Glock forcing the turnover. And you know, I don't think Wahoo has scored a single point on the break. No, they still don't get it. That's a team that's probably used to getting, maybe 1/4, 1/3 of their points on the break.
Right, through the season they've got a lot off of it.
Boudreau under pressure to Hendricks, way out top, almost stolen away by Glock. Underneath Easley, yes.
Nice pass by Burt.
Good job of Ed Easley handling the basketball.
Tough pass to handle.
Wahoo maybe starting to press a bit. 2:20 left in the third quarter. It's 41-25. Pius X in the bridesmaid role the last 2 seasons. They'd like to get that state championship trophy. The last time Pius won it was 1974. Wahoo won it a year ago for Pius on a last-second shot by Steve Carmer. Glock, it just won't fall, and I tell you, Pius doing an excellent job on the boards.
Yeah, they're playing real tough defense, too. I think that's the difference right there. The defense is so tough. The Wahoo's just not getting a good shot.
Hunsaker, no. Hendricks is there. Throw, no. And this time, it's Wahoo with a rebound. Cliff Kriesel. Cliff will bring it up himself. 1 minute, 30 seconds in the third. 41-25. Wahoo trailing. The Warriors with a basketball. That's a nice drive and a blocking foul. Let Troy Glock take the baseline, and you're going to be in trouble.
Troy got a nice screen outside. Of course, he's going left, using his left hand, went right to the basket. All right, here he goes to the basket. Good extension. Drew the foul.
And the 4th foul on Kelly Hendricks, I believe. That's what I have, if it is on Kelly. It is the 4th foul on Kelly Hendricks, so maybe a ray of sunshine for the Warriors. Troy Glock, though, could not complete the three-point play. Kelly Hendricks still in there. I'm not sure that Tom Seib realizes his all-state player has 4 fouls.
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't have anybody up at all ready to come in, so he must not know that he's got 4.
You'd think, especially late in the 3rd quarter like this, that he would substitute, not wanting to get a cheap foul. Tom Burt.
The leads he's got.
Oh, boy, Kelly went after that rebound pretty hard, too. This is Troy Glock. Drives right in past Hunziker, and it's good! And right past Kelly Hendricks. I'll tell you, Troy Glock knows that he has 4 fouls.
Troy's going to take that ball to the hole and try to draw that foul. I see Nichols is up now. Probably going to come in for Kelly.
Here, take another look as 2 baseline drives in a row. The baseline foul, and that is Ed Easley's 4th foul, Rod.
Yeah, well, you can see, I watched Kelly that time on the replay, and Kelly, he backed off and Easley went after him.
With 47 seconds left, Pius could be in a bit of trouble as their 2 senior forwards both have 4 fouls. Troy Glock completes a 3-point play, and we're down to an 11-point game, 41-30. Hendricks off his toes. It's 41-30, and that's one weakness Pius has. They really only like to play 6 players.
No man might be going to change here just a little bit here at the end of this 3rd quarter.
Wahoo, they get it inside. Boland, jump ball. Hunsacker got it, and on the alternating possession, it will go over to Pius. They get it into Hendricks. Kelly, pressure from behind, Jason Glock, it's out of bounds, and off Kelly Hendricks' foot. It went off Kelly's foot, good call.
Yeah, Pius may be getting a little impatient here too. Need to slow it up just a little bit and work the ball down the court against the press.
Watch Wahoo try to pound it inside now. Blocking foul on Hunsacker, that's his 3rd. I tell you, I think Troy Glock and Jason Glock are going to be driving the ball a lot in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, it looks like Troy's going to go to the basket every time now and try to draw the foul. And if somebody steps in to help out, he's going to dish it off to one of his postmen.
Troy has yet to commit any fouls in this entire game, so he could afford to even pick up a charge or 2. It's good, and we're down to a 10-point game. 21 seconds left in this 3rd quarter. Second one bounds away, no good. Jason Glock the foul. Jason commits it, just his 1st. Only the 2nd team foul on Wahoo in the 2nd half.
Tried to rebound from 2nd position there and went over the back.
Boudreau, pressure from behind. Gets it across the timeline, taking his time, has trouble with it. Down to 10 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Boudreau gives it off to Hendricks. Kelly will shoot it from 18 and score.
Nothing but net.
Officials timeout. I think they might put a couple seconds back on the clock. Let's see what happened. I think Hunsacker and Glock might have been banging a little bit. Thought they might try to put a second or 2 back on the clock, but it doesn't look like they will. 1 second left in the 3rd quarter. The length of the floor pass. Careful, Kelly. He'll throw it the other way. It won't go down, but Pius holds off Wahoo, and it's the Bolts leading 43-31 after 3 quarters of play. You could call this one, Rod, a momentum buster.
Again, if you watch his form, it's just a picture-perfect shot. Great extension, elbows in, great break on the wrist. He's just a tremendous shooter.
Kelly Hendricks' hoop right at the end of the 3rd quarter has put Pius up 43-31. Here's Troy Glock the other way. That's Cliff Driesel. Back to Troy Glock. Ryan Eddy, the other starting guard for Wahoo. There's Eddy with a basketball. Pius has its starting lineup back in there. Driving the lane, and a foul on Lee Hunsaker, and that is 4 on Lee Hunsaker. So Hunsaker, Hendricks, and Easley all have 4.
They're fouling Troy every time he drives down the middle, so I'm sure they're just going to keep going to it as much as they can. They're trying to pick for him outside.
Troy Glock has 10, and he'll shoot 2. Makes the first, nothing but net. Second bounce around and drops, and it's back to a 10-point game. Wahoo putting on full court pressure. Hendricks across the timeline, stops where you usually never want your players to stop, but he gets away with it. Hunsaker from behind, the foul on Troy Glock. An interesting thing, Rod, is it seemed in that third quarter like Wahoo maybe got the momentum, but you look at the scoreboard, and Pius outscored him by 2 points.
Yeah, it looked like with Troy going down the middle, and they got some free throws in there and got some fouls on them, but Pius is still getting the job done on their end.
But Pius has 3 of their senior starters in foul trouble with 4 each. Hunsaker, great pass.
Great pass by Lee. Penetrated and dished off.
Tom Burt, the easy basket, and it's back to a 5-point game, 45-33. Inside, Hoffman can't get it. It's knocked away off of Hoffman. There's a timeout on the floor. Wahoo, Coach Mick Anderson wants to talk it over, and we will also take a timeout where Pius leads Wahoo by a dozen. Pius the 10th with the basketball. The Bolts own a 12-point lead over Wahoo. 7 minutes left in this fourth quarter of action. Boudreau, yes, nice drive by John Boudreau. He has 13, and that makes it 47-33.
Wahoo went full court man-to-man that time.
The foul on Cliff Kriesel with the block. Boudreau ran him over. The officials deemed that Kriesel was guilty. That will just be Cliff's second, and 14 foul on Wahoo.
Wahoo's going to pick him up full court now, man-to-man. This might be just exactly what Pius wants to happen.
See if Pius tries to run some clock with 3 of their key players with 4 fouls each. Tough to run clock, though. Wahoo now in a man-to-man defense. Burt way outside. It's important to still look for your offense, though, even when you're running it, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they're in their basic 1-4 offense. If they run against a man with the cutters going through, Kelly just went through there, and I think they're just going to run their man offense against them now.
Great shot by Hendricks right over the outstretched arms of Randy Hoffman. And it's 49-33. Watch out, Ed. Nice hoop inside by Randy Hoffman. Ed Easley came down and had the position, but got to be careful when you've got 4 fouls. Here's Hunsaker. Bringing it up against the tough pressure of Brian Eddy. Underneath, jump ball. Easley tried to get the shot off on the jump. It will go over to Pius, though. Pius maintains possession on the alternating possession.
They double-teamed him right down low right away when the ball came inside.
Trouble getting it in. Is the timeout good? No. You've got to take the timeout within 4 seconds. Lee Hunsaker apparently did not do that. Wahoo, the quicker team of these two. But so far, the Pius size. Glock, yes. Troy Glock starting to take over here in the second half. He now has 14. 49-37, back to a dozen. Burt to Boudreau, to Hendricks. And now Pius will slow it down with 5 minutes left in the game. Glock tries for the steal. Hunsaker all the way across the court. Not a good pass, especially when Kelly Hendricks was all alone. Boudreau, no. Uh-oh, somebody's got a foul. Who is it? It'll go on Jason Glock. I tell you, Tom Sibes' heart has to pound a little bit harder each time a foul, though, underneath, because three of his key players have 4 fouls each.
Yeah, I'm sure he's looking at that, and kids they're going hard to the basket out of their offense, so he's just hoping for the best.
Jason Glock committed that foul, his second. Going to the free throw line will be Ed Easley. Easley has 12 points on the game. Usually a good free throw shooter. Ed is 0 for 1 in this game, though. Bounds around and goes down.
Got that in the roll in. Nice soft touch.
One of those intangible seniors who just always seems to get the job done each night.
He really works hard. He's a fine ball player.
Second one, bounds around, no good. Burt tips it, but Troy Glock comes up with it. Here comes Wahoo, the Warriors trailing by 13. 4:45 left. Troy Glock, jumper, in and out. Hoffman, a foul underneath, and that's on Burt. That will be Tom Burt's third. And Randy Hoffman will go to the free throw line. Randy scored 8 points in the first quarter for Wahoo. Since then has just had 2 field goals. Has 12 right now, but Randy 2 for 2 from the free throw line in the game.
Well, Pius just shut them off inside with their defense and couldn't get the ball inside at all.
First one is good by Hoffman. He would have gotten another chance even had he missed, because Tom Burt was in the lane too soon, but since it went down, they'll count it, and Hoffman earns the bonus. This could make it an 11-point game. It is 50-39. The Wahoo Warriors will not quit. Pius X across the timeline. 4:30 left in this basketball game. Pius up by 11. Boudreau, nice back throw. Score, but a great block by Troy Glock.
Nice backdoor cut, but Troy got back on him and got the block.
This is Kriesel. Cliff will shoot it and hit it. Cliff Kriesel's first 2 points in the basketball game, and we're down to single digits, 50-41. A foul goes against Rob Brigham, his second. That will send Lee Hunsaker to the free throw line.
Lee's usually a pretty good free throw shooter.
Pius 4 of 6 from the line in this ball game. That was a nice free throw there. Nothing but net. Earns the bonus. Second one bounds around, won't go down. And Hoffman has the rebound for Wahoo. It's a 10-point game, 51-41. Troy Glock throws it outside to Kriesel. Inside, Ed Easley almost picked up his 5th. Nice pass underneath, Hoffman couldn't handle it. Here comes Troy Glock, all alone underneath. Kelly Hendricks couldn't do anything.
You just got to stay off of him, those guys. They've all got, I think they've got Boudreau now guarding him.
51-43, timeout. I have a feeling Pius will try to run some clock, and we'll be back with the conclusion of this exciting Class B state championship game right after this. It's the 10th in foul trouble, and they really just can't even challenge the drives.
Well, Boudreau fell off of it, and you see Hendricks right there by him. They're just letting him go to the basket. I'm sure that's what they're going to do now here in the last part of the game.
Pius with the basketball. What do you think Tom Sibe told his team in that timeout?
Well, he might see if he's going to try to do something else on defense. Well, who got the hand on the ball there and knocked it out of bounds.
A break for Pius as Hunsaker had started to cut for the basket, but Brigham touched it before it went out. And Pius will keep possession. The Bolts lead it by 8. 3:29 left in the ball game. The Class B final. Burt. Big hoop, and he's fouled.
A nice set play there from the sideline. Set a screen. Burt cut to the basket and was wide open.
Third foul on Jason Glock. Tom Burt will go to the free throw line. He has 8 in the game. This could make it an 11-point contest. And he does. The 6'6" sophomore has 9. And it's 54-43. Troy Glock, the senior All-Stater, is taken over here in the second half, but his team still trails it. Driesel, no good. Boudreau has it, and it's tipped over to Burt. Kelly Hendricks had outletted, and he was open, but Hunsaker saw him a little too late. Glock pressuring Boudreau. John gets it across to Hunsaker, and there is a foul on Troy Glock, just his second. And maybe Wahoo might be getting into the mold where they want to say, hey, let's foul each time down. And really, the more offensive possessions Wahoo can have, the better off they are, because then they can try to draw some fouls. I really think they need to get Hendricks or Easley out of there, maybe just to try to grab that last bit of momentum.
Of course, I'm sure what Coach Seib told him at the timeout was if he drives down in there, you almost got to get off and let him go to the basket.
Hunsaker rings it around, and it goes down. There you see a nice shot of Tom Seib, and I have to admit it would be nice to see Tom Seib win a state championship. He's a really nice guy.
He really is a nice guy. I've enjoyed coaching against him down through the years.
Second one by Hunsaker doesn't go. Troy Glock.
That's the first break, first basket off the break they've got tonight.
And there's another timeout. And they get it this time. Well, I tell you, Wahoo is really putting the pressure to him.
Yeah.
Pius having trouble even inbounding the ball.
They're really turning up the pressure here. What they're going to have to do now, they're still down 10 points with 2:50 to go in the ball game.
Pius only one timeout left in the game. It is 55-45. In case you just joined us, I'm Jeff Schmall, our guest color commentator for this game, Rod Felix, the Seward boys basketball coach. The Class A game still to follow. Columbus and Millard South. Dick Janda will be by to call the play-by-play of that one. And Tom Hall of Omaha West Side will be our guest color commentator for that game, as Millard South attempts to become the first Class A team since, I believe, 1960, Rod, to finish as an undefeated state champion. And Millard South will go into that game as a favorite. They've got an excellent basketball team.
Yeah, they really do. Coach Ribble's done a fine job with them. I know they've compared them to one of the Omaha South teams a long time ago, and these kids have played together quite a while, and he had a real fine ball club.
Right now, it's the Class B state championship, 2:50 to play. Pius gets it inbounds. This is Boudreau. Gets it across the timeline, 2:45, Pius up by 10. Wahoo in a position where they may need to start fouling. The Warriors, a man-to-man defense. Underneath, Easley tapped around, nice save, two nice saves. Hoffman and Troy Glock both saved it. And here comes Wahoo with a chance to cut it to single digits. Troy Glock, three-pointer, no. And Hendricks has the big rebound.
The three-pointer just won't go in for Troy. He's taken quite a few of them.
Boudreau, good dribbling against the full court pressure. 2:10 left in this game. The Pius X Thunderbolts just 2 minutes away from their first state title in boys basketball since 1974. And a foul. A foul will go against Rob Brigham. That will be Rob's third, and they will send Lee Hunsaker to the free throw line. Lee is 2 of 4 from the charity stripe. He's had in the fourth quarter 2 times he's gone to the line with a 1-and-1. Each time he's made the first and missed the second.
Yeah, Lee's a good shooter. I know last year he carried a little more of the offensive load. I think this year he's just kind of become the defensive specialist in the passer, but he's a good shooter.
All these Pius kids are, really.
Right, they've got good balance, real good balance. I thought maybe Pius was going to try to take a little time off the clock, but again, they went right into their 1-4 offense, and we're trying to go inside with it.
Second shot by Hunsaker is good, and it's back to a 12-point game. Here comes Troy Glock. His Warriors trailing at 57-47, 1:55 left. Way outside, Eddie hits the three-pointer. Brian Eddy, a 5'10 sophomore, his first points of the game. And there's the quick foul by Troy Glock. That is only his third. Probably a smart play. They're really getting to the point where if they don't get the steal right away, they might as well foul.
Well, he was in behind trying to deflect the ball away from the inbounds pass, and just was on his back a little bit, but I think you're right. They want to stop that clock as quick as they can and hope that they don't make the free throw and get the ball down the floor. Coach Anderson's put in his 2 sophomores, I think, to see if he can't get a little more shooting from the three-point area.
Boudreau, it's long, and Troy Glock has the rebound. 57-48, 1:45 left. Here come the Warriors. Glock, Eddie fakes the shot. He'll take it over Burt. No good. Who's going to get the rebound? Boudreau! It's kicked out of bounds, and it will go over to Wahoo. 1:32 left. I really think Wahoo has to keep trying to drive the basketball, though, don't you?
Yeah, they've got to take it to the basket, but they're still looking for the three-point shot. But the sophomores are showing a lot of poise in there for no more experience than they've had. Pretty tough for a sophomore to come into the ball game, this type of ball game, state championship, and they're doing a good job.
There you see Tom Seib. I'm sure his stomach is churning right now, even though his team leads by 9. 1:32 left. Here's Troy Glock. Drives, fakes the shot. Jason Glock. He'll shoot the jumper from 8, and it's good! Jason Glock with 9, and Wahoo gets the timeout. We'll keep it right here. 57-50 with 1:22 remaining, and that is an eternity.
Yeah, like you say now, Jeff, they're trying to still take that ball inside and maybe draw a foul on those guys, and I'm sure they're backing off every time one of those guys comes down the middle.
Now, would you tell your star players, the Easleys, the Hendricks, who if you go to an overtime, you want them there, but would you tell them to try to start challenging some of those shots?
Well, that's a hard question. Like you say, you want them around as long as you have them. I think they need to, outside people, I don't know who they've got to throw. I know on Troy Glock, they just got to try and stay in front of those guys a little bit more so that they can penetrate, because you know that's what they're going to do every time down the floor.
Take another look at this three-pointer. This is by Ryan Eddy, a 5'10 sophomore. Nice to see a sophomore hit a big shot like that, isn't it?
I'll tell you, that's a lot of poise there for a kid that really hasn't had a lot of playing experience, and I know that Coach Anderson said he's got some real good sophomores, and he really did a good job.
Wouldn't be surprised if they try to foul John Boudreau right away either. He missed his last free throw badly, his only free throw attempt of the game, and you know that Pius wants the ball in the hands of Boudreau. There's John with a basketball. Let's see if they try to get him. Double team. He gets it away to Hunsaker. We're down to 1:15 left. Glock tries for the steal from behind. Pius content just to work the clock.
Yeah, they're going to try to run a little clock now.
Is fouled. Hendricks is fouled by Ryan Eddy. That will be Ryan's first. Kelly will go to the free throw line, and I don't think that's the guy you want to send to the line. He's 3 for 3, and that's the guy I think Tom Seib would like to have there, his veteran senior.
Yeah, he's the leader. Boom. Kelly's going to step right up there and take a deep breath and put it right in the hole. I think another reason maybe Coach Anderson put those 2 sophomores in was they've got a few fouls that they can give.
Yeah. The second one. Bounds around and drops a big 2 free throws by Kelly Hendricks, and it's 59-50. 1 minute left in this Class B basketball game. Eddy, it's off. Fight for the rebound. Jason Glock is fouled, and it's good. That's it for Ed Easley. He has 5 fouls, and it's back to a 7-point game as Jason Glock connects. What a big rebound.
Another sophomore. Yeah, he was right there when the ball came off the board and went right back up and drew the foul.
I don't know if Wahoo took a timeout or not. No, Wahoo did not. Wahoo went over and huddled up. I think they thought there was a timeout. I know Pius did it first. No timeout on the floor. 59-52, 55 seconds left. Jason Glock will go to the free throw line. Wahoo won at 50-48 last year over Pius on a last-second shot. Can the Warriors get back into that same position this year and try to win it?
They'll be right up on him now on the defense. For sure if he makes it, they're going to be right in the press.
It's good. Jason Glock connects on the 3-point play. Boudreau, he loses it. and it will go over to Wahoo. 59-53. 54 seconds left in this ball game. Wahoo with a chance to cut it to 6. Ed Easley is on the bench with 5 fouls. Here's Wahoo. Huge possession right here. Troy Glock to Eddie. A three-pointer. No. Who's going to get it? Eddie gets it off to Troy Glock. 40 seconds. Troy from three-point land. No. Hendricks has it. He's fouled. Jason Glock with 4 fouls.
A lot of time you go and you're trying to get that three-point shot, and you take a bad shot, you hurry the shot, and it's usually what happens. You take just a little bit more time and try to make a little better shot, you're going to have a little better luck. But just hurried a little bit too much.
And Kelly Hendricks has played the last 9 minutes of this game with 4 fouls and done an excellent job.
Yes, he has.
Hendricks misses. 35 seconds left. We've got a 6-point game. Glock will drive. Throw to Jason. It's good! A 4-point game, and we have a timeout. The last timeout for Wahoo.
They're going to let him have that 2-point shot, and they'd rather have him take that than take the three-pointer outside. Of course, they're still backing off so they don't draw that foul.
Trying to look down the scoring ledger, and Rod, I believe that Pius is led by as many as 16 in the second half. Wahoo has done a great job battling back. They're down within 4 points, 59-55, 28 seconds to play.
Well, we said it would be a good ball game. It looked like maybe it was going to be a blowout early, but the Wahoo kids have really fought back and making a real tough ball game out of it.
I'm sure that Wahoo will try to get the turnover right away, and if they don't, they'll foul. And they really don't have a choice on who they want to send to the free throw line anymore. They just have to foul as quickly as possible.
Well, I'm sure Pius is going to try to keep the ball in the hands of those guys that are their best free throw shooters.
Let's go Warriors! Let's go Warriors!
Lee Hunsaker will inbound the ball. Pius has 1 timeout left. Wahoo, none. Hunsaker gets it to Boudreau. They try to foul him. They don't. Here comes Nichols. Nichols to Burt. Burt's all alone. Tom takes it. It's good! Tom Burt. There's 15 seconds left. It's back to a 6-point lead. Eddie way out. Yes! Holy cow! All the way down. It's going to be stolen. They could tie it up with a three-pointer. Yes! It's going to overtime. Holy cow! Last 15 seconds, Tom Burt made that turnaround bank shot with 20 seconds to go to put Pius up by 6. Ryan Eddy, I believe it was, got the three-pointer that must have been from almost 30 feet away. And then the inbounds pass was stolen away. Glock came in, banked it off the glass. I cannot believe it.
Unbelievable.
In the bag. They will jump it up and play a 3-point overtime as we're tied 61-61. Wahoo scored 30 points in that 4th quarter.
The fouls mean something now here. Fouls on Pius. I'm sure they're going to try to go inside with it again.
Block. No. Kelly Hendricks gets the rebound. I wouldn't be surprised if Kelly really tries to take over here in the overtime. Pius did seem to be composed. They were clapping, smiling. I'm sure they had to be in shock for the first couple seconds.
course, they've had a lot of these types of ball games. They've had some tough ones. They had the tough one in the district to get here, and they've had 2 tough ball games in the first 2.
This is Boudreau. Takes the jumper. No good. Right underneath for the rebound. Hoffman comes away with it. 61-61 our score. We are in overtime. The Class B state championship. Eddy. Yes, from three-point land. Ryan Eddy, a 5'10 sophomore. Who would believe that little Ryan Eddy would be the hero in this one, at least thus far? Hunsaker, they get it inside to Burt. Tom back to Hunsaker. Lee, reverse layup. No good. Lee has it. He shoots it up, and it's good.
But the difference has been, too, Wahoo, a team that probably played zone 90% of the season, has gone to man here at the end of the ball game.
Trouble with the ball. Hunsaker. Who's going to have it? Here's Pius. It's a foul on Eddy. Boy, these kids are putting it on the line.
He saved a sure 2-pointer there. It was a smart thing to do. He's got some fouls to give. That's about all he could do.
Here you see the foul.
Got him right across,
Nichols with the drive.
Right across the arm. Yeah, the loose ball, he picked it up. That's about all he could do.
Nichols will shoot 2. Ed Easley, the second leading scorer for Pius on the season, has fouled out. A lot of arch on that one, and it doesn't go down. 64-63, Wahoo leads it. No good. Troy Glock has the rebound. Jeff Nichols cannot connect on either of the 2 charity tosses. 1:35 left in the first overtime. Troy Glock, it's tipped away. Here comes Kelly Hendricks. Kelly will slow it down. Pius will get into its half-court offense with 1:25 to play. The Bolts trail it by 1. Jeff Nichols to Kelly Hendricks. Inside, Burt can't handle it. And it's Wahoo's ball. Pius looks a bit rattled.
Yeah, I'm sure they are a little bit. You know, the pressure's building a little bit. They've moved their 1-4 offense usually across the free throw line. They've dropped it down a little closer to the basket. You see, they do have Hunsaker back on Troy Glock again.
Here's Troy. 1 minute remaining. Wahoo with the basketball and a 1-point lead. Eddy out top to Troy Glock. Troy with Hunsaker on him. Hunsaker has 4 fouls. He has to be careful. Watch out for the 5-second call. Knock it around. This is Eddy, and Nichols has the foul. Rather, that's Bernie Inbody.
Wahoo's trying to run a little time off the clock. Pius went to a trap and almost had the steal. More pressure for a sophomore.
We've got a timeout on the floor. We're going to keep it right here. Wahoo leads Pius 64-63. 43 seconds left. We've checked it out, Rod, and Bernie Inbody was the player who got that last 3-point, the second to the last 3-point shot. He's a 5'9" sophomore. So Ryan Eddy hit a big 3-pointer in the fourth quarter. Bernie Inbody did the same. They're both only sophomores. There you see the 2 huddles.
It's just unbelievable how the pair of sophomores can come in such a big ball game and have that much poise.
That's one reason why I love the 3-point shot. I don't know, I think you coaches probably hate it sometimes, but boy, the possibilities that it creates.
Well, you love it if you've got somebody that can shoot it.
Well, this will be Bernie Inbody at the free throw line, the biggest free throws by far for this 5'9" sophomore. Bernie will shoot 1 and 1, a chance to put his team up by 3 if he can make them both. Look at that, you gotta love it. A 5'9" sophomore at the line. And he hits it.
No problem at all, nothing but net.
You saw Bernie take a deep breath right here. Watch this.
He'll take a lot of confidence in his shot.
There's the deep breath. Another one. Good. A 3-point lead for Wahoo, 66-63. This would be a bitter, crushing defeat for the Pius X Thunderbolts, as it looked like they had the Class B state championship in their grasp, leading by 6 with only 15 seconds to play. But Wahoo came back with 2 miraculous 3-point shots, and now the Warriors lead it by 3 with only 20 seconds left in overtime. Boudreau inside to Burt. Burt small away, no good. Nichols tips it, and it's Wahoo's ball. Seconds left. Wahoo's ball. The Warriors lead 66-63.
Coach Anderson wants a timeout.
Well, folks, we almost guaranteed you a great basketball game. I sure thought we'd see a good one, and it turned out to be fantastic.
Yeah, just like we thought. It looked like, as we said before, there was going to be a blowout there a little bit earlier, with Wahoo fought back there in the fourth quarter. Got those 3-point shots, and again, it goes back to, we keep talking about the sophomores coming in a big ball game when you're in the finals of the state tournament and doing the job that they're doing.
We still have the Class A game to follow between Columbus and Millard South. That one will start approximately a half an hour after this one is over. So if you've tuned in to watch the Class A game, don't worry, it'll be here. There you see some of the Wahoo faithful. They have had a lot to cheer about here in the last couple of minutes. Wahoo with a basketball. Pius needs a turnover badly. 66-63, the Bolts trail it with only 16 seconds to play. Wahoo inbounding it. Jason Glock to Troy Glock, and he's fouled immediately. And what better person for Wahoo to go to the free throw line? Troy is 8 for 8 tonight in free throws.
Well, the inbounds to his brother, and his brother gave it right back to him. They knew who they wanted to have the ball in whose hands.
Troy has 21 points in this game. I'd like to say this one would seal it, but what we saw at the end of regulation, it sure wouldn't. Because in this many seconds, Wahoo came back from a 6-point deficit. The free throw good by Troy Glock. Tom Seib wants John Boudreau to take a 3-point shot. The second one by Glock is perfect. And it's a 5-point game. It will be pandemonium in the next 10 seconds. Boudreau will take the 3-pointer. No good. Nichols will go out to try another one. And he fouls away from the ball. Bernie in-bodies celebrating. I tell you, I'm happy for Wahoo because it's been a great comeback, but my heart's a little broken for Tom Seib and the Pius X Thunderbolts.
Well, it looked like on that foul there that in-body had the position, and Nichols just went kind of over his back on the rebound.
Bernie in-body will shoot a 1-and-1. No good. 5 seconds. Here's Hendricks from 3. It's good, but it's elementary. As Wahoo wins the Class B state championship with a thrilling 68-66 win in overtime over Lincoln Pius X. That's one of the most amazing comebacks I've ever seen, Rod.
I don't think I've ever seen. I've been to a lot of state tournaments, but I can't remember one like that at all. Of course, years ago we didn't have the 3-point shot, and that's what won the ball game. Got them back and tied the ball game in regulation, so they could go on and play, and they hit a couple 3-point shots there a little later.
I have a feeling that Ryan Eddy and Bernie Inbody, the 2 little sophomores for Seward, are going to have trouble falling asleep tonight.
Well, not for Seward, but for Wahoo. I wish they were in Seward, but they were the heroes. Came in, you look out on the floor, those are the guys that got up on their shoulders. They just did a tremendous job.
There you see the final in overtime. Wahoo over Lincoln Pius X, 68-66. We will be back with the Class B medal presentation right after this. Back at the Bob Devaney Sports Center, Jeff Schmall along with Rod Felix, the Seward boys basketball coach. Rod, you've been coaching basketball how long?
Well, I've been coaching 31 years, 24 as head coach at Seward, and like we talked about before, I've never seen anything like this before.
Well, let's take a look at those 2 3-point shots. We want to set it up for you. Tom Burt made a turnaround jumper to put Pius ahead 61-55. That came with 20 seconds to play in the game. A 6-point lead for Pius. It looked like it was in the bag. Watch what happened, though, as little Bernie Inbody. Look at how far out he is. He's at the 28-foot line extended. Nothing but net.
Yeah, that's a 3-pointer in the NBA. He shot there, that far out.
And it still looked now like, well, it's still Pius's game. Look, Boudreau way open underneath, but the interception is made. They get it to Troy Glock. This is it with about 2 seconds remaining. Watch this. It banks off, and it's good.
Yeah. They hit the board twice. He banked it twice on that shot.
That came just before the buzzer. That sent it into overtime, 61-61. And then Wahoo controls the overtime, winning it 68-63. A great basketball game as Wahoo wins its 2nd straight Class B title. Another heartbreaking loss for the Lincoln Pius X Thunderbolts as they lose in the finals of Class B for the 3rd straight year, but those Pius X Thunderbolt players who are getting their medals are far from losers.
Well, they did a great job. They've had a tremendous season. There's, you know, that they worked hard for the state championship, but they can be proud of the success that they've had all year.
A lot of luck goes into sports, and I'm sure that all the Wahoo players would be the first ones to admit that right now.
Well, you talk to any coach that's won a state championship, and they come down here and to win 3 games, and that's one of the first things they always say, that it does take some luck. You've got to have some good kids, but as was shown here in this ball game tonight, the 2 shots there, you've got to have some luck, and all coaches are going to admit to that.
Let's go over to Roy Churchill and get the presentation of medals for the Wahoo Warriors, champions in Class B boys basketball.
Now, Coach, hand out the gold medals to your championship team members. We'll introduce them one by one. Number 11, Ryan Eady. Number 15, Bernie Inbody. Number 23, Troy Johnston. Number 42, Scott Latham. Number 43, Mike Dvorak. Number 53, Ron Stupa. Number 55, Steve Bolen. Number 21, Rob Brigham. Number 31, Troy Glock. Number 33, Cliff Crizel. Number 45, Jason Glock. And number 50, Randy Hoffman. There's one award left. The 1989 Class B High School Basketball Trophy. Come and get it. Congratulations, Wahoo High School. Class B High School Basketball Champion.
And we'll be back at the Bob Devaney Sports Center right after this timeout.